Today I'll be reviewing Wistoria, Wand and Sword. This anime series was very popular on Crunchyroll, so I decided to watch it. In this anime series, the main character Will goes to a school where students learn and practice magic. The problem though is that Will can't use magic, which makes him a target for bullies. Everyone looks down on him. Will, however, is very physically strong and can fight against powerful monsters in a dungeon even without using magic. Just from watching the first episode, you have a great understanding of what the show will be about. It is basically a combination of Don Machi and Mash Lee. You would think this would be a good show because of that, but there's still some problems with the show. What drew everyone into watching the show was of course the great animation. It of course makes the anime series very appealing to look at, and I get why so many people enjoy watching the show. However, even great animation doesn't hide the problems in the show. This anime series relies a lot on rage bait to get people emotionally invested in the show. This is one more commonly used cliches in writing. Everyone hates the main character and looks down on him. It makes the viewers angry, and they want to see the main character make a fool out of everyone that made fun of him. When the main character beats up the people that made fun of him, it's supposed to be satisfying for the viewers to watch. Sometimes in different anime series, the rage bait is used in a different way, such as the villain trying to steal the main character's love interest, but regardless, it's still rage bait. So over and over, characters look down on Will, they insult him, and then Will ends up making a fool out of them. It's the same repetitive thing being shown over and over, and we're supposed to be impressed. I wasn't impressed or satisfied when Will made a fool out of his enemies. I just felt disappointment that the writer had to rely on this rage bait to get people mostly invested in the show. That sort of rage bait worked in the Rise of the Shield Hero, but when you see it being used over and over, it gets very old quickly. The reason why I sort of think is alright in the Mash Lee anime series is that in Season 1, most people didn't know about Mash's secret, so he wasn't really getting bullied or looked down upon that much, so it's not using rage bait. There really wasn't much of a plot for the majority of the show. It's like what I said earlier, a bunch of characters bully Will, and Will ends up making a fool out of them. The plot doesn't actually get good until the last arc of the show, where it finally stops relying on rage bait and instead focuses on the villains and the mystery of the dungeon, which were fascinating to watch. Why couldn't most of the show focus on that instead of the rage bait? The fights of course look great with nice animation and the cool magical attacks. It wasn't just generic magical spells being used. There were some fairly unique ones being used as well. This anime series mainly focuses on the main character Will, since he's the one being bullied. I didn't like him as a character. He's a quiet guy that lets himself be bullied by others and doesn't stand up for himself. He does get angry when he sees terrible things being done to other people, but I think he'll stand up for himself as well. He learns to speak up for himself later on, but he just will never be that cool, confident character. Also, everything he does is for his crush. He has no other motivation in life except to be by his crush's side. It isn't stated that he loves her, but it's fairly obvious to the viewers. He is very obsessed with her. I don't like seeing main characters that make their crush their entire life. Not even Bell from Don Machi was this obsessed with his crush. This anime had great animation, and the fights looked great because of it. But the plot was still very generic, and the characters were boring to watch. I don't like Will, but in terms of the other characters, they didn't really stand out at all. It seems people are just so easily impressed by great animation these days. I don't care how nice something looks. If the plot and characters are generic, and you're relying on rage bait to get people's interest, it's not overall that enjoyable to watch. The opening and ending song for this anime series were average. The music for the fight scenes was decent. The animation style and the animation of course looks great. All this anime series had going for it were the great animation and the great fight scenes. That may be enough for some people, it was not enough for me. I give this anime series a 6 out of 10.